Okay, guys, so we continue with the next type of functions. The next type of functions basically are even functions. Okay, when x is replaced by minus x, the value of fx remains the same, or f of minus x is equal to fx. Okay, यहाँ पे तीन example भी दिए मैंने. Okay, I'll discuss them in detail now. So guys, होता क्या है यहाँ पे? If you take let's say y is equal to x square. Okay, अगर आपने यहाँ पे x का value let's say 1 लिया तो y कितना हो जाएगा 1 square. But अगर आपने x का value -1 लिया तो y कितना हो जाएगा -1 square, which is 1, isn't it? Right? मतलब आपने अगर x का साइन चेंज किया, the sign in y does not change. Okay, you can take more values. You can take x equals to 2 and check. If x equals to 2, then y is equal to 2 square, which is 4. If you take x is -2, y is -2 ka square again, which is 4. Okay, so change in the sign of x will not change the sign of y, or f of minus x will be f of x as such. Okay, that is an even function. You can check the same thing for y is equal to mod x also, guys. अगर हमने x का value 1 लिया तो y क्या आएगा mod of 1, which is 1. But even if you take x equals to -1, mod of -1 will be +1 only, right? So y will still remain the same. Okay. Cos भी वही है, guys. It's a trigonometric function. But if you if you do not know, कोई बात नहीं. We'll discuss that again in trigonometry आगे जाके. Okay. So when we have y is equal to cos of x, okay. If you take cos of 30, okay, it will be same as cos of -30. Okay, ये property same रहता है. Okay. Cos में. Okay. So y is equal to cos x also is an even function. Okay. Going on further, guys. Okay, the second kind is odd functions. Okay, in this lot. Okay, odd functions. Okay, odd functions may whenever x is replaced by minus x, okay, fx becomes negative. Okay, or f of minus x is minus f of x. Okay, again I'll demonstrate this part. Okay, with examples. Y is equal to x cube, y is equal to 2x, and y is equal to sin x. These are odd functions. अब होता क्या है, guys? Suppose यहाँ पे if you take y is equal to x cube, अगर हमने x का value suppose 2 लिया, तो y कितना हो जाएगा 2 cube, which is 8. But if you take x equals to -2, y will be -2 का cube. Okay, -2 raised to 3. मतलब guys, -2, -2, तीन बार मल्टीप्लाई किया हमने. नेगेटिव नेगेटिव एक बार मल्टीप्लाई किया. Okay, दो बार मल्टीप्लाई किया. Basically positive into negative. Again, the answer is negative, right? So basically -2 का cube is nothing but -8. Okay, that means you change the sign in x, the sign in y also changes. Okay, this is the basic definition for odd function. Okay, f of minus x is minus fx. Okay, अगर आपने x का साइन चेंज किया है, y का साइन भी चेंज होगा. Okay, same thing you can observe for y equals to 2x also, guys. If you put x equal to 1, y 2 आएगा. But if you put x equals to -1, y -2 आएगा. x का साइन चेंज, y का भी साइन चेंज हो गया. Right? Same thing you can observe for sin theta also, guys. If you observe, okay, we know that sine of 90. If you do not know, कोई बात नहीं, we'll discuss that in detail. Sine of 90 होता है basically equal to 1. If you take sine of -90 यहाँ पे, it will be equal to -1. Okay, so you change the value of x, the value of y also changes. That is the case of an odd function. Okay, guys. So let's observe something. Okay, the even functions which you took, y is equal to x square, mod x, and cos x, they are all symmetric about the y-axis, right? Y-axis के about अगर हम ध्यान से देखें तो देखो ये वाला part symmetric है, guys. Same for this graph also, this symmetric, and same for this graph also. Okay, यहाँ मैंने ठीक से बनाया नहीं है वैसे, but yes, you can observe they are symmetric, right? So always remember, guys, the even functions are always symmetric about the y-axis. Okay. एक और चीज हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, गाइस. बेसिकली सिमेट्रिक फंक्शन जो है या इवन फंक्शन जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किए हैं, दे आर नथिंग बट मेनी वन फंक्शंस इन नेचर. ओके, जैसे कि y इज इक्वल टू x स्क्वायर लिया, x इक्वल टू +1 पे भी और -1 पे भी एक ही वैल्यू ऑफ y मिलेगा, राइट? सो इवन फंक्शंस आर बेसिकली मेनी वन फंक्शंस इन नेचर, बट द रिवर्स, गाइस, मे और मे नॉट बी ट्रू. Okay, मतलब all many one functions may or may not be even functions. Okay, for example, if you write y is equal to mod of x plus 2, okay, in this case, okay, it is definitely a many one function, right? Because the graph will be something like this. Okay, but it is not even, it's not symmetric about the y-axis, right? Okay, so y is equal to mod x plus 2 is a classic example of a function which is many one, but it's not even, right? Same way, guys, if you observe, the odd functions are are symmetric about the opposite quadrant. देखो जैसा ग्राफ यहाँ बना है, उसका अगर हमने just basically turn किया, okay, 180 degree clockwise, anti-clockwise, you get this graph, right? So whatever is there in the first quadrant repeats itself in the third quadrant, right? Same thing, guys, देखो यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है, right? And same thing देखो यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है. Okay, whatever you do it, okay, you can cut and paste it over here नीचे, right? So odd functions are basically symmetric about the opposite quadrants. Okay. So also they are basically 1 1, as you can observe. One value you put and you get only one value of y. Okay, but again, guys, the reverse may or may not be true. I mean, every one of one function may not be an odd function. Okay, for example, इसी ग्राफ को आप 5 से ऊपर ले जाओ, y is equal to 2x plus y को, right? right? So it is no more symmetric about the opposite quadrant, but yes, it is definitely one function, right? Okay, so we have to be really careful about this part. Let's go on further, guys. So to study the next type of functions, we'll have to study some basics now. Okay, some basic terms related to functions. ओके जो भी अब तक मैं बताऊंगा वील ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड इट ग्राफिकली बिकॉज उससे समझना काफी इजी हो जाता है so we talk about the term called domain. Okay, domain means the values that x can take. Okay guys, whenever we are constructing a function, three things which are actually important and one of them is basically the domain. Okay, हम लोग x की क्या वैल्यू सेट करते हैं. Okay, now generally हम लोग जब बेसिकली हमारा ग्राफ ड्रॉ करते हैं गाइस, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम लोग x एक्सिस पूरा ड्रॉ करते हैं, right? So generally the values that x can take is your x-axis, right? So if nothing is specified or by default, we treat this x-axis as the domain. Okay, but you can also customize the domain as per the required question. Okay, for example, you can also treat the domain as all non-negative integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can take only odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, likewise. Okay, but in general, okay, we treat the domain as all real numbers if nothing is specified. Okay, minus R2 plus R, all real numbers. Okay, so मैंने draw कर दिया यहाँ पे अपना domain. The values I can take for x. Okay, they are all real numbers. Okay, going from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, now guys, second thing which we need to do, it's called as the codomain. Okay, what all values y can take. Okay, same thing now you can do for y also. You can draw the entire y axis if you like. Okay, y can take any of these values. और अगर आप चाहो नहीं मेरे को सिर्फ पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज चाहिए, ओके, तो आप जीरो भूल के, ओके, यू ड्रॉ ऑल द रिमेनिंग वैल्यूज. इफ यू आल्सो वांट टू इंक्लूड जीरो गाइस, यू कैन ड्रॉ द नॉन नेगेटिव वैल्यूज. ओके, अगर आपको नेगेटिव वैल्यूज ही चाहिए फॉर y, ओके, यू कैन ड्रॉ द codomain like this. Okay, so codomain means the values y can take. Okay, now always remember guys, the domain and the codomain we will always set before drawing the graph. Okay, because after you draw the graph everything is finalized कि हाँ जो हमने x की वैल्यू ली है उस पे बेस पे हमने y की वैल्यू फाइंड आउट की है. Okay, now observe carefully guys. Okay, when I plot the graph of y is equal to 2x plus 5, or if I take any linear graph for example, okay, now मैंने ग्राफ ड्रॉ करने के पहले पूरा y axis प्लॉट किया था, राइट? But now after I plot the graph, okay, what all values the function will actually take will keep on changing, right? For example, यहाँ पे in this case, the graph will take all values from minus infinity to plus infinity for y. You can observe, right? The green line will extend on both sides. Okay, अगर मैंने कोई दूसरा graph plot किया, right? So I'll get y is equal to x square, for example. In this case, your value of y goes from 0 to infinity, right? If I plot a graph like let's say sin x जो मैंने यहाँ draw किया है, in this case y goes from minus 1 to 1, isn't it? Okay, we'll discuss this in detail anyway. Okay, if you have log x के लिए again यही है same. Okay, if you talk about a raised to x, again zero नहीं होगा यहाँ पे, basically zero से बड़ा होगा. Okay, y का value to infinity. Okay, so guys, after drawing the graph, okay, what all values y का actually ले रहा है function वो, okay, that is called as the range of the function. कोडोमेन वो होता है जो हम ग्राफ प्लॉट करने के पहले assume करते हैं. Okay, but range is something which we try to find out on the basis of the equation or the function which we have. Okay, find the domain of the following function. F of x is equal to root of x square minus 4 divided by x square minus x minus 12. Okay, तो जो हमने ग्राफिकली देखा है अभी गाइस, उसको हम थोड़ा अभी algebraically समझने का ट्राई करते हैं. Okay, domain of the function मतलब the values x can take. Okay, अब guys look at the constraint of the function. Okay, if you have fx is equal to something upon x square minus x minus 12, this x square minus x minus 12, this in the denominator, right? मतलब guys ये zero नहीं हो सकता. Why? Because anything upon zero is not defined. So x square minus x minus 12 can't be equal to zero. Okay, वैसे ये zero कहाँ पे होता है? It's a quadratic at its roots, right? Factors कौन से होंगे? minus 4 and 3 जिनका sum minus 1 हो और product minus 12 हो. Exchange the root signs, you get 4 and minus 3. Okay, these are the roots. So x can take any value, but x cannot be equal to 4 and minus 3. Okay, first thing. दूसरा चीज guys, if you look at the numerator, x square minus 4, okay, it is under the root sign, isn't it? Okay, root sign के अंदर कोई भी number हो, वो या तो 0 होगा या उससे बड़ा होगा, right? Otherwise it will be non-real, it will be imaginary, right? So here x square should be greater than equal to 4, right? That means x is greater than 2 or greater than or equal to actually, or x is less than equal to minus 2. इसी केस में you can square, तो square बड़ा हो जाएगा, right? 4 से. Okay, so the answer is x can be greater than equal to 2 or less than equal to minus 2 and it is not equal to 4 or minus 3. Okay, you have to use basically curly brackets here, okay, to denote that. Okay, so this is the domain of x. Okay, greater than equal to 2 or less than equal to minus 2 and not equal to 4 and minus 3.